Hey y'all, for this project you'll need a main piece of fabric and a lining piece, both measuring 15 by 20 inches. You'll also need a smaller piece of your main fabric, which is 3.5 by 16 inches. You'll also need a closure, needle and thread, and other basic sewing notions. Start with your main fabric and fold it in half with the short edges together. At the top fold, we're going to measure a 6-inch circle using our ruler and some chalk. On the outer edge of the fabric, I'm going to measure 6 inches down from the top, and then I'm going to draw a line from that mark to the bottom left-hand corner of the fabric. That's just going to serve as a guide for me to freestyle a curved edge along that side. When you're satisfied with your curved lines, go ahead and cut them out. This is how it will look when you open it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold it back because we are going to use this to trace the same cut onto the lining piece. So grab your lining piece, fold that in half as well, short sides together, place your main fabric on top, and cut out the curves. Now you want to open up both of your pieces, and you're going to match them up right sides together. Once they're matched, pin them in place, and then we'll sew the outer edge. Both pieces are sewn together, and I'm going to turn it right side out. Once you turn it, push the fabric out as far as you can, and then we're going to iron it down flat. Next, I folded the piece in half and marked the middle point. This is really optional because after I did it, I saw that it wasn't really that necessary. But if you want to, fold your piece in half and you can do a little snip with your scissors to mark the halfway point. Now I'm going to start with my pleats. I start with the middle pleat, and what I'm doing is gathering the fabric in the middle and tucking it under. It's going to be narrow at the top and wider at the bottom. As I go, I'm clipping the bottom of each pleat. This holds the fabric in place so that I can have an accurate measurement for the next one. I continue with the pleats going from side to side, doing my best to match up the width of the pleats on each side. I want to make this as symmetrical as possible. I've got my pleats all pinned together. At this point, I'm going to take a needle and thread and do a tacking stitch to hold the pleats down. That way I can remove the pins as I attach the neckline of the piece. The tacking stitches are in place, so now I am removing the pins. Once that's done, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to prep the neckline piece. So on the shorter sides, I'm going to fold over the fabric, maybe about 3/8 of an inch on each side. And then at the bottom where I'm going to fold that fabric over as well. And I'm going to take it to the iron and iron it flat. When I fold over adjoining sides like this, I like to cut a little triangle piece off of one side just to make sure that it lays a little better as I'm working with it. So the part that I said was optional earlier technically still is, but it will come in handy here. I'm finding the halfway point of the neckline by folding that in half and marking it with some chalk. And then when you do that, you can mark it up. You can match it up with the halfway line that you found in the pleated section. So with the right sides together, match up the halfway point of your neckline to the halfway point of your pleats, and you'll pin it all the way across. And I will admit that I had the neckline placed too high in this scene. I did fix it off camera. You want to place it a little lower so that you're capturing each individual pleat when you're sewing across. The neckline is now sewn in place, and at this point you'll want to flip your piece to the other side and go ahead and remove the tacking stitch from earlier. We're going to be creasing the top side of the neckline, so I'm also going to trim my little triangles off of that side as well. I'm going to crease the top of the neckline slightly, and then I'm going to fold it all the way over. The objective is to hide the jagged edge of the pleats and the stitching line in the back. Start in the middle, get all of that lined up, and then you'll continue folding over and creasing throughout the rest of the neckline, matching it up. Once everything is pinned in place, go ahead and top stitch across the bottom of the neckline. Here's how our jabot is looking all sewn together. Another optional step is to sew down the bottom of your pleats to where they meet up with the next one. That is if you want a more structured look to your collar piece. The last step is adding on a closure. You can use Velcro, you can use hook and eye. I've chosen to use a sew-on snap. Make sure you're attaching each side of the snap to the opposite sides of the neck piece so that when you circle it around to close it, it matches up. I hand stitched the snaps off camera to save you guys the trouble of watching. And now our piece is complete. Go ahead and remove your clips or pins and it is ready to wear. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the tutorial was easy to follow and that you'll be able to make your own. Be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment below. And also subscribe to the channel for more creative videos. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye for now.